Guys, what's up? So I'm restarting the science and technology series. Congrats to all of you. You all wanted this, so here it is. So we will be dealing with the second last video on class 6, that is chapter 13 and 14. The last will cover the chapter 15 to 16, and this is the part 4. This is the YouTube channel An Academy, and we will be dealing with class 6 science. So obviously I'll be going much more beyond than what class 6 science is teaching you. Obviously it is more or less is worthless information which is available there, so I have to build upon that and use various other sources to give information, especially my past experience. But anyway, if you have any comment or any request, especially we have started giving the PDFs of video, and you can easily download them for free obviously. And let me know if you want me to provide the PDFs of all the other videos, and I'll be able to happily do that. So this is the Facebook link, facebook.com/my name rohansaini.official. Anyway, moving forward, so obviously as always I always want you to just focus on keywords and summary. That is keywords and summary, keywords and summary, keywords and summary. This is all that is there, and it is present on each and every NCERT chapter. When you close the chapter, you will find both of them together. So inculcate such habits in reading whatever you want to read. So in this we will be dealing with fun with magnets and water. So let's start with magnet. So what is a magnet according to you? So a magnet is any substance which produces a magnetic field. Obviously it is invisible, you can't see it, and attracting both iron, this is a property, iron plus various other substances. Like in 6th class के NCERT level पे था सीख लो. You must have seen crane which has like artificial magnets. जैसे electricity pass करते हैं, it picks up cars and heaps of junk. As soon as they stop the magnet, the junk just falls out. So this is how it is. So story goes by Magnus, एक शेफर्ड था, वो जब अपनी iron stick when he was using it, so it got stuck to a rock. That rock was made up of magnetite, and the place where it was discovered was Magnesia. It is somewhere in Greece or Mediterranean Europe. So these are the three reasons why the magnet is called as magnet. So magnetite is a like highly enriched iron ore, and it is a natural magnetic ore of iron. Magnetic field is obviously invisible, and materials are not attracted to the magnet. They are called as non-magnetic. Obvious सी बात है. Like you and me are non-magnetic. Interaction, various substances attract so differently. This is beyond the scope of discussion. लिखा रहता है ना बुक्स में, जब औकात से बाहर बात आ जाती है, तो this is beyond the scope of discussion. So something like this video will not be able to cover this, like ferromagnetic, paramagnetic, diamagnetic, ferrimagnetic, antiferromagnetic. So this is beyond the scope of discussion, so we will not be able to discuss it. Now magnetic is those objects which get attracted to magnets. One example is ferromagnetic substance. They are very good attraction to the magnets. Obviously iron is an example. So Feconi means iron, cobalt and nickel. So they are just like scandium, titanium, vanadium. So this is like that series, iron, cobalt and nickel. Then lodestone is a substance which also gets attracted to iron, and few alloys of rare earth metals and magnet. So when I teach you, obviously magnets get attracted to magnet. So when I'll teach you chemistry, I'll deal with these part. Now shape, it can be a bar magnet. So bar magnet is something like this. This is north, this is south, or this is south, this is north. A horseshoe magnet is something like this. You must have seen it. Everyone has seen it. And cylindrical, obviously you know what is a cylinder, something like this is a cylinder. A ball-ended magnet. So these are various magnets. Artificial magnets is process of making magnets from iron. So you just pass electricity current through it. It's a very easy process, and there are other, like you rub on it in a particular direction. So let's say this is an iron rod, so you start rubbing from this to this direction, then don't go in a backward direction. Again you lift it up, you come here and then go in this direction. So only in this direction you keep on rubbing, in one direction only, and opposite direction is not allowed. So this is how you produce magnets. Now what are poles? So the ends of the bar magnet is where most of the objects are attracted. So those ends which attract most of the objects are called as poles. Now what is the direction? So freely suspended bar magnet, well, it is freely suspended under no influence, external force. It rests in a north-south direction because that is how magnetic field of earth is aligned. So you can also use sun, that is sun rises in the east and sets in the west, all of us know. So using sun as a direction, you can know which is north and which is south. Obviously using north star also you can know which is north, which is south. So let's say a bar magnet is hanging something like this, okay, and it's 6 o'clock in the morning and sun is here. So this direction is east and this direction is west. So obviously this direction is north and this is south. So this is how you know that which pole is which. And now that is how you determine the pole of a particular magnet. So the north seeking end is called as north pole and south seeking end is called as south pole. और सिर्फ बार मैग्नेट में नॉर्थ साउथ नहीं होते, every magnet regardless of its shape has poles. Now this is something which is called as a typical horseshoe shaped magnet. As you can see, this is a north pole which is written N. This is a bar magnet, north south easily marked. This is a what is called as compass. So what do you do with a compass? So basically it rests in a north south direction. So using sun, let's say शाम के 4 बजे, तो sun will be somewhere west, somewhere close to here or here. So some sun is here, so now you can easily fix, since west is known, so even if these dialings are not marked on dials, you can easily know which pole is north and which is south. This is again something similar to that, and this is again north south direction, and especially we paint the north direction. So this is a characteristic feature in a compass, that north direction is painted. South can also be painted, it doesn't matter, but the usual convention says find out the north pole and paint it red. Now magnetized needle is undergoing free rotation. Obviously it is not under any external influence except the magnetic force in a small glass box which I have shown you, and dial is there, that dial is there, and it is with directions marked on it, and place it wherever you want to know the direction. Especially sailors used to take advantage of it, travelers, sailors, etc., and rotate till north and south, and dial comes exact opposite to each other as I have shown you in the previous pics, and now you easily have the direction where you are, so that it will always align itself according to the magnetic field, and then you can know according, with the help of sun and with the help of markings, that is north pole is marked, so you'll exactly know which direction you are heading to and where you are right now. So travelers, sailors, they what they used to do is either they used to suspend it from a thread or they used to help take off compass. So it's a very very great invention in the time of earlier, जब 500 साल 600 साल types. So in that time voyage there was no GPS unfortunately, so they has to take help of these things. Now obviously I told you how to make a temporary magnet by moving a bar magnet with slight contact along the length of the iron bar to and fro in a particular direction and with a particular pole. So let's say this is an iron bar, okay. So you take a magnet and you touch it and you move in this direction, okay. Then you lift it up, you again go back to here, and then again you move in this direction with the same pole again and again. Then again you go back हवा में उठा के, and then you come back here. You never go like this, never rub in this direction, this is wrong. So you have to rub in only and only in one direction, and that too slightly touching it, and that too again and again, and that too with the same pole again and again. Now attraction is obviously between different poles and repulsion is between the same poles, and there are various reasons of loss of magnetism. It includes like physical pressure, trauma, drop from height, not stored properly. This is also very very important reason. There is an increase in temperature, hammering is done. So these are the reasons why magnet loses its magnetism. Now how do you store? You store always in pairs with such that unlike poles are on the same side. अगर like pole same side होंगे तो magnetism loss हो जाएगी with time. You separate them by wood because it is non-attractive to iron, so non-attractive to magnet, and two soft iron pieces are needs to be placed across their ends, okay. So it helps. And finally horseshoe magnet होता है, उसमें soft irons are placed across their ends so that they do not touch each other and they do not lose magnetism because of interaction with each other. Now obviously you keep away from TV, computers, mobile, CDs, music system. पहले floppy में if you just keep it तो floppy भी खराब हो जाती थी और magnetism भी कम हो जाता था. So earlier times, late 90s and early 2000. So a compass can be used to find east-west direction at any place. Absolutely correct. You just need to align it. You find northwest, and since the dialings are marked, so you will find which direction is east-west. Now they will say how do you know which pole is north and which pole is south. Obviously आपको इतना पता चल जाएगा कि either this is north or south and this is north or south. After it is allowed to rest in a freely suspended manner, you just take either the help of north star. If north star is here, this is north. If north star is here, this is north. Or if it is daytime, you can obviously take help of sun. If it is early morning sunrise, this is east, so this becomes north, and if this is east then this becomes north. So it is extremely important, and sun है तो sun की help लेंगे, अगर night है तो we'll take the help of north star. Now chapter number 14 deals with water. I have deliberately written it H2O because many of us do not know the molecular symbol. No problem, we are not here to become a scientist, but anyway. So 89% of the world's population have access to safe drinking water. That roughly translates to 6.3 billion of them, but 750 million do not have it. That's a very very sad state of affair. and roughly the same figure, that is 800 million, are suffering from chronic hunger. So can you make this calculation? Those who do not have access to water are also suffering from chronic hunger. There is a huge overlap between these numbers, so they are very very worse off. That is, one ninth of humanity do not have safe drinking water. Despite that, 71% of Earth's surface covered by water. Despite this fact, one ninth of humanity. Have you heard this quote from a sailor, that water, water everywhere, nor any drop to drink? So this was the plight of sailors in the sea. Now, as you know, 40 to 90% of water which human uses goes to agriculture. अमेरिका जैसी डेवलप्ड कंट्री होगी तो वहाँ पे 40% होगा. डेवलपिंग कंट्री होगी जहाँ पे जूट कल्टीवेशन ये सब होता है तो 90% होगा. बट ऑन एन एवरेज 70% ऑफ ह्यूमैनिटीज वाटर गोज इनटू एग्रीकल्चर. ये वेस्ट नहीं है, मतलब वी प्रोड्यूस फूड एंड एवरीथिंग फ्रॉम इट. Average global water footprint, now this is a keyword. If you come out to consumption per day, it transforms somewhere between 5,000 to 10,000 liters. This is a global average. And 1 liter, that is 1000 liters, is 1 meter cube. Okay, so you will say ki yaar ye to this is 5 to 10 meter cube only. This is water consumption directly. But do you know, in making a 1 kilogram of chocolate, you have 20,000 liter, 30,000 liters worth of water which needs to be made. So if you eat that chocolate also, then you are consuming that water indirectly. So that is your total global footprint. That comes out to be 1385 meter cube per year. So please do not confuse these two numbers. This is exact water consumption which you have directly. It's like pollution. So even if industry is polluting, it ultimately comes to our end in per capita calculation. So average global water footprint includes everything with which water has to do. If a farmer is using that water far away, then what happens is, even if in that water also, though you are not consuming that particular crop, it ultimately, the entire water consumption divided by the total number of population is the global water footprint. Global water footprint, this is entire water consumption, complete water consumption divided by population. So please do not confuse these two numbers. So for India it is 1100 meter cube per person, that is the water footprint, and in USA it is almost 3 times the India. This is the water footprint they are carrying. Now water usage is maximum water usage which goes is in toilet flush, unfortunately, apart from obviously the essential uses, the toilet flush, and then in production of power energy, and then in showers and bath. So this is how we are wasting our precious water, using toilet flush. Now obviously, as we all know, it's a good joke in India that there are more mobile phones than toilet in India, but this is not true for India. This is true in entire world. In entire world in totality, there are more mobile phones than toilet, which is a shameful thing. Now 4 billion, if let's say we have told that 6.3 billion people have access to safe drinking water, so out of that 4 billion are through taps and 2.3 billion are through well and other public sources. Now the problem arises because of washing, because of leakages of sewerage, sanitation. It becomes unpotable. What is potable? Potable means the water which is fit for consumption and free of diseases carrying viruses, bacteria, etc., etc. Do not have minerals, do not have hardness, do not have much of the unwanted things. Now every minute, do you know, this is the saddest fact I have ever come across in my life, every minute there is one child death due to water related diseases, most common of which is obviously each and every one of us know, that is diarrhea. Others include cholera, but cholera also kills because of diarrhea. Now 130 to 150 million hours of each day of humanity is the time spent in collection of water. They are not doing their jobs, they are not reading, they are not educating their children, they are just collecting bloody water. How pathetic is that? 150 million hours each day is the time spent in collection of water. You can use these data, they are 100% accurate data, and code them in your essays, and you will get decently good marks apart from the average marks which you will get anyway. Now 4 times economic returns are there on spending on water and sanitation. So if you are spending on $10 on water, you will get $40 in return. How will you get it? You will have good health. Since you have good health, you become better educated, you have interest in your studies, then when health plus education combined, you will be able to reap your demographic dividend, and this dividend will ultimately be adding to the GDP growth, as simple as that. Now this is a very crucial aspect. 1 to 2% of your 100% guaranteed 1 to 2 questions will come from this in prelims and mains mein. This data helps. Most of us will be uncomfortable with this, but let me break down as simple as I can. So here we go. अगर 100 वाटर है, so out of this is 97.5 is saline water. What do you mean by saline water? Which has 35 parts per thousand salt or more, that is 3.5%. okay, absolutely understood. So 1000 grams में 35 gram is salt. Now 2.5% is fresh water. okay, now the saline water is again 96.5% is sea water or ocean water, whatever you call, and 0.9% is other saline water, like example groundwater में stored, etc, etc. So this absolutely, this part is clear. So this is one form of classification. Other form of classification is 96.5% is present in seas and ocean, 1.7% is groundwater, 1.7% is in glacier ice caps, and less than 0.1% is in large water bodies, and less than 0.001% is in water vapor and precipitation. This is what is called as a sasti classification. This is not needed, but still, if they are not dividing on basis of saline and fresh water, this is the perfect classification. This can be asked in prelims. Please focus on this. Now since we are done with this, so now just come to this. 97.5 is sea and saline water, and 2.5 is fresh water. Fresh water has 100th time salinity, less than 100th time salinity of saline water. Is that understood? तो अगर उसकी 3.5% है या उसकी 35 parts per thousand है, so it means this salinity will be 0.035%, that is 100th time, that is less than this or less than 0.35 parts per thousand. So this is what is called as fresh water. So out of this 2.5%, 68.7% is stored in glaciers and ice caps, while 30.1% is stored in groundwater. This makes 98.8%. Rest 1.2 is 0.3 surface water and 0.9% is other water. Is that understood? Very easy. We elaborated this 2.5. Now comes to this 1.2. Out of this 1.2, which is surface water, so 69% is permafrost, that is permanently frozen. I have talked about here in tundra biome. 21% is in lakes, 3.8% is in soil, 3% is in atmosphere, 2.6% is in marshes, 0.5% river, 0.25% living beings. You just need to have a vague idea of this overall what is going on. Exact percentages are not required. If you want to have exact percentages, please focus here, 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 here. That is, this part should be focused on. Now out of 0.3% surface water, lakes make 87%, swamps make 11% and rivers make 2%. If it is still not clear, it will become clear now. So if you can see this entire cube, this is absolute water content of earth. जो जितना भी ये वाला color है, that is 96.5% is sea, oceans and bays. This is saline water obviously. Then there are various छोटे छोटे sources like soil moisture, fresh lakes. अरे छोटे छोटे cube दिख रहे हैं आपको. Atmosphere, swamp water. This is nothing. This is nothing. Absolutely nothing. Now the again major source is 0.9% saline groundwater. इन दोनों को combine करने के बाद जो भी source आपको बाहर दिख रहा है out of these two yellow, this is all fresh water. So fresh groundwater is 0.76%. So these are the three major sources, and the last major source of fresh water is ice caps, glacier and permanent. Can you see this red dot? This is the entire biological water. Entire humanity, entire mammals, amphibians, insects, सबका पानी मिला करके, this is the entire water of earth. So now you know why you should be respectful of nature. This small dot is the entire water which we have on the planet, which is present in the living beings. And this is again the small thing. So now you can have a fair bit of idea. This is absolute water content of earth. Again, I'll make it easier. So can you see this is the entire absolute water. So 96.5% is saline water, 0.9% is other saline water, 2.5% is fresh water. Now out of this 2.5%, 68.7% is in ice caps and groundwater is 30.1%. Is that understood? And the rest 1.2% is a what is it? The 0.3% is 0.3% is surface water, while 0.9% is other waters. Now out of this 0.3% of surface water, you have this, that is 81% is in lakes, 11% is in swamps, while 2% is in rivers. Is that understood? So this is how you divide the 0.3% of the surface water. Again, I have mentioned it here. If you want to see that 0.3% of the surface water, 87% is lakes, swamps make 11% and rivers 2%. So you can see here. And now this is the ultimate graphs. So out of the entire complete water, 96.5% is an ocean, 5% is fresh, while 0.9% is other saline water, and out of the fresh water of 2.5%, 68.7% is in glaciers and ice caps, 30.1% is in groundwater, while 1.2% is surface or other fresh water. And out of this 1.2%, obviously you can pause and see this, that is 69% is ground, then 21% is lakes, and all this other 0.26% is living things. So this is the entire classification of water on earth. I hope now it is very clear. So fresh water obviously does not mean potable water. Ground water उनको पी नहीं सकते हो. There needs to be filtered, aquaguard and everything. Now Kent water purifier वो सब लगाने पड़ेंगे. Floods happen if there is excessive rainfall like cloudburst obviously, and if it doesn't rain adequately it may lead to drought, lowering of groundwater, soil become dry, water becomes scarce. बहुत ही basic stuff है. Now conservation is of prime importance, so minimize the use as soon as possible. There should be collection, storage of rainwater for use in times where there is a relative lack of water, which is called as rainwater harvesting. Collection, storage and use it when there is lack. Rooftop rain harvesting में करते हैं, roof में पानी आता है, that goes through pipe to storage tank, you filter it and then you use it. While recharging groundwater is another type of rainwater harvesting only. Then you do not allow it to go to impervious stuff like roads, etc. Now water cycle is circulation of water between ocean and land via different states of water. कभी vapor होगा, कभी liquid होगा, कभी solid होगा, and stages. Now it goes through evapotranspiration. I have told everything. It needs energy, receives in form of heat like sunlight, warm air. It happens at almost all temperature, not just boiling. अगर unless it's frozen, then it's very slow. Otherwise, it happens at all temperature. It happens from all the open surfaces which contain water. Now transpiration through stomata of plant leaves is also there. So we have known this is called as evapotranspiration. Condensation से वो सब वापस आ जाता है. Vapor moves up, gets cooler, form droplets, formation of clouds, then rain, precipitation. Now precipitation is outcome of condensation of water vapors in atmosphere and falls under the influence of gravity. Now main forms of precipitation include drizzle. Drizzle is a form of rain, but the size of liquid raindrops is 0.5 mm से कम. Rain is more than 0.5 mm. Sleet is mixture of rain plus partially melted snow. Snow is crystalline water ice. It is granular material. बहुत granules type के होंगे if you feel it in your hand. Now grapple is snowflake plus super cooled water droplets, and it is size of 2 to 5 millimeter. The water droplets when it is surrounded on this is also called as pellets. This is also called as snow pellets. This is called as grapple. It's a German word. And finally hail तो आपने सुना ही होगा. ओले जो गिरते हैं, the North India are called ओले. There are solid precipitation. They're also called as hailstone, and the size is anywhere between 0.5 to 15 centimeter, can cause extensive damage to human structure and crops. Now this is a water cycle. As you can see, this is ocean. It is going condensation here, then through atmosphere, sublimation, desublimation, evapotranspiration, evaporation, then surface runoff. It goes back to this seepage, spraying fresh water, groundwater flow, infiltration. So this is what is called as water cycle. बहुत ही बच्चे लेवल का है, so I don't think it will come in exam, but still I wanted to complete it. Now returning to the source, how does it return? Land is usually above mean sea level. Obviously अगर आप Dead Sea और Netherlands are exception in this. Dead Sea is 450 meters below mean sea level, minus 450 meters. Netherlands is also at or below sea level. So apart from that, most of the land is above it. So through gravity, water goes back to sea and ocean. Through melting snow, rivers, streams, rain directly into ocean. Now groundwater is stored for quite a long time, and it comes out via transpiration through wells, tube wells and hand pumps, etc., and through runoff. What happens through runoff? If there is little vegetation, now soil saturation or impervious surfaces are there. Okay, अगर इनमें से कोई भी condition हो, if the vegetation is less, if the soil is saturated or the surface is impervious like cement or tar of road, so excess water will run off. It will not go into groundwater. It will flow over the earth surface. It will go to drains a river, so it is lost forever. This is also reason of soil erosion. This is called as runoff phenomena. Now again, rainfall is like there is quantity and spatial and temporal variation. Spatial का मतलब है राजस्थान में कम होती है, चेरापूंजी में ज़्यादा होती है. Rainfall is less in Rajasthan, more in Cherrapunji. Temporal variation is most of the rainfall in India is received during the month of monsoon, during the 4 months, sorry, not 3 months, between June to September. And there is a variation between two places as well as within the same place. हो सकता है इस बार बहुत अच्छी बारिश हो, अगले साल नहीं हो. So this is all the variation. This is all there is in the NCERT. And finally, these are some questions. So if you place clothes near a heater or under a fan, while they dry faster, yes. हीटर से हीट ज़्यादा मिलेगी तो evaporation easily हो जाएगा. Under a fan में again the spread out area will become more, so it will evaporate much faster under the influence of wind, because saturation will decrease and the wind will take more of the water from it. Now again, water drops are visible after you take out a cold bottle from the fridge. Why is it that? See, cold water जो था, that is at a very colder temperature, so it can have more of a, now just atmosphere has vapors outside. So when these vapors they stick to it, they condense on the cold water, just like upper atmosphere में जैसे cloud बनते हैं, and then there is a puddle of water here and here. So this is how it works. It condenses because it comes in contact with colder. Exact opposite of it is here. So we breathe out to make spectacles wet. How does that happen? In our mouth the vapor is at a warmer temperature, but when it actually comes in contact with atmospheric glasses, what happens is it becomes that it is relatively colder when it touches spectacle. Since spectacle is at a lower temperature as compared to our mouth, it condenses on the spectacle and it becomes wet. So I hope you learned. So I just wanted to say, be brilliant with the basics and rest all will follow, and please spread the word and be part of this education revolution. These are all the things which you need to know. Thank you for watching the tutorial. Have an awesome day.